Have you ever wondered why we get sick and how you can heal? Have you ever wondered how you could apply more of the NES material to those two questions and be able to get better results than you're presently already doing? Hi, my name is Richard Flook, and I'd like to share with you what we're going to be doing over the 2 days that we're going to be meeting each other. If you are interested in the NES-Health special training that I'm running with Cyril Burke in the Sunshine Coast in Maroochydore, coming up on the 7th and 8th of March. So let's actually look a little bit about what you're going to discover. So why learn about emotional stress and its link to disease? And this honestly is a missing piece in the healing process that even Peter Fraser knew about. And how to use your NES-Health system, infoceuticals and Mihealth, MRs and multiple body scanning, something you're not allowed to do, by the way, to heal you and your clients energetically. But I'm going to show you how to do that multiple body scanning on the training. How to heal the energetic stress that is triggering disease using advanced clearing energetics, something I've been working on over the past 30 odd years, and your NES-Health Tools, and explain what we're going to cover in the 2-day training in March. Okay, 7th and 8th of March in Maroochydore. So just so you know, there are two versions of this particular video. One long one that goes into the science and background of this groundbreaking material, which is about 30 minutes long, and the video 2 is shorter, probably about 4 or 5 minutes long, and it just covers the basics and what we're going to do on the 2-day course. Okay, so let's first go into why do we get sick and how you can heal. This is really the missing piece in your healing process. In order to understand that, we need to understand that there really are 5 steps to healing energetically. I've been looking at these 5 steps, and just so you can get a real firm grasp and a real good feel for all of this, I will be sharing with you a couple of stories and things like that, so that they resonate with you and so that you can really get a good clear picture inside your mind of exactly what this is all about. So these 5 steps, the first step is to redress your stress. The second one is to release your toxicity. The third one is to reduce your inflammation. The fourth one is to rework your environment. And the fifth one is to raise your energy. Now, the secret is this. You can't do certain things in a normal way. For example, a lot of people that go off and do a detoxification, but they haven't redressed the stress. They haven't released the underlying reason why they got the disease in the first place, because they do not understand the link between energetic stressful events and the cause of their disease. So they go off and do this detoxification, but it doesn't solve the problem. Or they go and reduce their inflammation through various means, but again it doesn't solve the problem. So they keep getting these chronic disease processes and they don't get well. What you're going to learn is how important it is to redress your stress first, and you've got to do that first. I'm going to tell you why. So first and foremost, let's just do a little bit of talk about my most favorite subject in the whole entire world, me. Sorry about that. But basically, let's just look at who I am, because you may be going, well, who is this guy? Oh, by the way, I was in Australia about 5 years ago. I'm coming back, obviously. And I'd really love to be able to share with you what I've been doing. If you came across me back in 5 years ago, if you haven't, then you're going to love what I've been able to take a lot of this material. So I've been in the energetic healing field for almost 30 years. I'm a Hay House author. That's my book, Why Am I Sick? I travel the world teaching how to release and heal the stressful events that trigger disease. And I got into this through the death of my mother from breast cancer. She moved an 8 to 10 hour drive away from my father and left 3 boys. I'm the middle one. And, well, you know, there was a direct link between that particular event and her getting breast cancer, and then not really following the 5 steps. You know, she just toxified her body, irradiated it, didn't change the environment, and that subsequently caused her to die, which was a very useful technique for the medical profession, God bless you, of how you go about healing, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, we're looking about energetic healing, and I'm also, or was, a friend of the late Peter Fraser. So let's look at Peter Fraser and my work for you right at the start. Peter was a friend, and we made several important discoveries about how energetic disease is triggered. or any disease, not just energetically, how it's triggered. Peter always knew there was a link between emotional stress and specific diseases, but he did not know how this happened. That's my speciality. We got together because he knew of the work of a maverick doctor called Gert Hammers, who's also passed away, and I was involved in that particular material right at the very start of what was called meta-medicine and now is called Mihealth. I'm no longer associated with Mihealth, but I still connect up with those wonderful people on a regular basis. And my work has taken me on a different journey. I'm looking at the underlying stressful events and how to heal them, which Mihealth doesn't do. So if you want to know the difference, they basically are able to what they call diagnose, which we're not allowed to do. And my work doesn't allow us. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do any diagnosis, and you'll see exactly how that works. Let's go back to Peter Fraser myself. Peter always knew, as I said, that there was a direct link, and that's how we got together. These discoveries included how disease occurs by disruption in the environment, and therefore it's linked mathematically in the global scaling wave. If you understand a little bit about that, if you spend some time with Cyril, you'll understand how important the global scaling wave is and how it's built into your Mihealth. This leads to the development of the brain infoceuticals, and in further research, that is myself and Peter, went on to develop different strategies to assist clients to heal using the material geared from the work with Peter. So mathematics in our world. In our world, we have fractals, mathematical equations that explain how nature creates symmetry in all things, and this can be seen everywhere, as you can see from the way that Mother Nature creates all these incredible changes. Beauty is a fractal. It's just the way that we have this incredible symmetry, and when we look at someone who's beautiful, male or female, then what can happen is we are literally looking at a fractal. So that's how that works. And global scaling in organs is each organ has a specific size and frequency that fits perfectly into this global scaling wave. It's known as the Muller wave. And global scaling and organs, everything fits into this wave. If there is a distortion in the wave, you get a disease. And what Peter Fraser and myself actually did is that we looked at this whole wave. We were wanting to find out where specific infoceuticals fitted within the wave, and then we were looking at brain infoceuticals and how they fit into this overall thing. So in June 2011, Peter and I, gosh, that's a long time ago, isn't it? That's over 8 years ago. We got together and deciphered the global scaling relationship and to the human body field and energetic healing. And that's actually the map of the whole thing that we did at that particular time. I've got to give credit where credit's due. Peter did the majority of the work, so it wasn't all mine, but I was definitely there, and this image there is what we actually came up with. So where does this distortion start? It starts in your environment. In order to understand that, we need to go back to the beginning of everything. And that's in the beginning. There was a Big Bang. And if you look at this particular picture, that is an image of the background radiation from the Big Bang. This was taken from the ESA Planck spacecraft, and it captured the oldest light in the universe. This information helps astronomers determine the age of the universe. So that's quite incredible. And that little starry thing that's showing up could be, not really any relationship, I just chucked something there, our solar system, our not our solar system, but our galaxy, the Milky Way. Of course, there are billions of different galaxies, and we're just one of them. And inside the center of that is our solar system. But the big, key, important point is the Big Bang created space, matter, time, and energy. And the Big Bang created galaxies, stars, planets, and ultimately life in humans. And I find that absolutely fascinating. Because in order to understand why this works, we literally have to go back to the beginning of time. We have to understand this ultimate fractal. We have to understand how life was actually created. So in order to create life, we need water. Amazingly, you use water in infoceuticals, but that water must be not too hot, as in steam, and not too cold, as in ice. Water was around at the Big Bang. How do we know that? Asteroids. What do you think meteors are doing, and also comets as they're flying around our solar system. That is basically the sun heating the asteroid, producing a comet. That tail is water. Asteroids and essentially comets were around at the Big Bang. So water was around at the Big Bang. In order for water to create life, we need energy and minerals at specific temperatures. Energy from the sun, minerals from the earth, and also meteors that have landed on Earth. So meteors that landed on Earth basically give us lots and lots of weird minerals that we weren't actually produced in the Earth at the time of its birth. So what causes life to evolve? As life is created, it adapts to its environment. The environment is continuously changing, changes from external radiation, energy from the sun, solar winds causing extreme weather conditions, solar storms causing tectonic plates to move, earthquakes, meteors landing on the Earth, adding alien water and minerals, electromagnetic changes in planet Earth. Overall, there is a continuous change in environmental conditions happening all the time. It is inherently unstable. And what's quite frightening is man has been making it even more unstable with global warming and using up way more fossil fuels. But more importantly, we're on a disaster path at the moment, whether you agree with this or not, with 5G, where they're going to put up satellites into space, literally beaming very, very high frequency down onto every single part of Earth. And you. What a bunch of idiots. Anyway, I'd use a more stronger expletive, but anyway, let's go back to the slides. What causes life to evolve is these major changes in your environment: radiation, solar, and electromagnetic. And how life survives, it adapts to these changes in your environment. I talked about that. But it also learns. Some species don't learn and others multiply. Human beings have done a great job of that. And it evolves, it becomes smarter. But you are human. And we have slightly different environmental shocks now that shake our world and shake your world. And this is the missing piece to how disease is triggered in humans. And these are shocks that shake your world apart. And they're Uden moments. And this is the missing piece. So they're unexpected, dramatic, isolating shocks where we have no strategy for dealing with it. And what causes a disease in you is a Uden moment. And so I've got an explanation of that, which I think you'll find quite interesting. And it'll explain exactly how this works. So a Uden moment is, imagine a couple, and this is an example, that have been happily married for over 30 years, and they've got children and grandchildren, no idea that this is about to happen. And suddenly the husband walks in, he says, "Hey, darling, I'm sorry to tell you, but I've been sleeping with your best friend for the past 6 months and I really love her. I packed my bags and I'm leaving." And that's one of those pesky Uden moments. Why is that the case? Well, it's unexpected and dramatic. 30 years, let's say that she had no idea that this was going to happen. And dramatic, 30 years of marriage. Isolating, the one person that she would want to speak to would be her best friend or other friends, probably because they probably knew something was going on, but she doesn't want to embarrass them. And she's not going to turn around and say, "Oh, it's okay, darling, you have a nice life. I'll see you on Thursday for meatballs and spaghetti like we always do. And you can tell me about all your shenanigans with my best friend and how you've had great sex. Oh, by the way, I'm logging on to a dating website right now. See you." Not going to happen, is it? So, a Uden moment shakes a person's world apart. And the Uden has everything in it. People's voices, looks, touch, feelings, taste, plus smells, plus your own words. And more importantly, it has the energy. And here's an example.
Completely worthless excuse for a man that I've ever met. What kind of father are you? You are the most completely worthless excuse for a man that I've ever met. What kind of caregiver are you? What do you have to show forth to your kids?
Ouch. Anyway. A Uden moment activates nervous systems in your body. As a Uden moment occurs, your body goes into high alert. It responds to fight, flight, and freeze response. And in humans, these Uden moments affect the nervous systems of the body. And here they are. There are 4 of them. Yeah, 4. In case you didn't realize, most people think there's only 1. No, there are 4. And the first one that you probably have never heard of is the intrinsic cardiac nervous system. Yes, the heart has its own nervous system. You can take a heart out of a human being and you can keep it running and it will still be transmitting information internally and externally. Now, the central nervous system is in the brain and the spinal column, and you probably know about that one. But there is another nervous system called the enteric nervous system, which is in your belly, which explains why you feel stuff. And there's a fourth one called the interstitium system, which is in the fluid. It's in the water inside your body. And you're going, yeah, I don't totally believe you. Well, you know, this is why infoceuticals work. It's why homeopathy works. It's why acupuncture works. And it is real. It is genuinely real. And I'll explain and give you some proof of that in a moment. Each one of these four nervous systems is connected to your environment and therefore your udins. So the heart. A heart in the Earth grid. The heart is transmitting its good and bad energy through the Earth's magnetic grid, attracting others with equal good and bad energy. Have you ever been in a horrible relationship? I'm sure you have. And then you leave that relationship and then you go into equally the same relationship. It's equally as horrible. This is the reason why. So udins interrupt the rhythm of your heart. And as Peter Fraser said, everything starts with the heart, Richard. He said that to me. Everything. And I'm sure you've heard him say it on all the trainings. In Chinese medicine, they knew that. I remember him saying that. This links into his ideology of making corrections in the field so that we can heal. Your heart has the biggest field in your body. And it beats internally and externally. So here is the heart mass slide, actually, from Roland McCarthy. I spent a bit of time with Roland when they released the Living Matrix movie, which I was supposed to be in, but you know, they went and cut my piece off. But whatever. But I spent some time with Roland and I saw that slide and I thought, oh, well, can I have it? And he did. He gave it to me. So the quality of your thoughts and emotions affect your heart's electromagnetic field, which energetically affects those in your environment, whether you are conscious of it or not. So udins land in a specific area of your brain based on how your udins shook up your world. And the answer lies in embryology. These link into the brain maps in the NES scan. More about these scans will be taught on your course. Now the udins screw up your brain and thought patterns. And what happens during a udin, information just can't flow. We see this on X-rays, CT scans that are flat, two-dimensional images, and information gets trapped inside an energy ball of emotion that's either positive or negative. And I think that this is absolutely fascinating because I've got some pictures for you, and this next picture is a bit disturbing. I'll tell you when it's coming up, and I'll tell you when it's gone, because it's actually a diseased breast. So here it comes. This is a diseased breast. It's a trapped udin, trapped energy in the brain in a place that corresponds to the diseased breast. Right, that picture's gone now. And now we're looking at diabetes, Tim's brain. Tim has a type 1 diabetes. The area and location of the alpha and beta cells of the pancreas in the brain is shown clearly. I remember him having the brain CT scan, and I remember actually being able to see that. That was absolutely amazing. This is mine. I had a herniated disc. And two actually, and I was rendered unable to walk because of these damn things. You can see how much it's pushing up against my spinal column there, which made it incredibly painful as well. Actually, it's not the spinal column, but it is the nerves in the back there. But I managed to be able to heal that using the basis behind what you're going to learn. And here are ovarian cysts, common complaint of a woman. And this is where it's located inside the brain. And if you've ever seen the brain maps, this is what Peter took, and this shows us an understanding of what actually is going on inside a client. So hypothyroidism, this is Birgitta. She had no energy, her thyroid was underactive, and the ring shows corresponds to the location of the thyroglossal ducts, which are linked to the thyroid gland. Problems here can result in hypothyroidism. I remember actually meeting up with Birgitta, reading her brain CT scan and saying, have you got a problem with your thyroid? And she went, really? Yeah, I do. How did you know? I can see it on your brain scan. So we went in and healed that, and she got all her energy back. It's amazing. So which brain infoceuticals do you use depends on where the issue lands in the brain, which is based on embryology, and I'll teach you more about how to do that. So we've got 4, which is the brain stem hologram, cerebellum hologram, middle brain hologram, and cortex hologram. We've also got this amazing one called Liberator. So as I said, it'll be taught in the 2-day training. Udins affect your gut system, changing the chemistry inside you, making you feel different. And udins disrupt how you feel inside your belly. And this is quite fascinating because if you think about it, your belly is the seat of emotions. And Udins really do land there. And if you can't take something, if you basically swallow something, it's going to land actually in the belly system as well. So Udins and the belly, the gut, the enteric nervous system, as I talked about earlier, can run independently of the brain and communicates with it via the vagus nerve. So does the heart, actually. This controls everyday emotional well-being. And Michael Gershon wrote a very interesting book called The Second Brain. I do not recommend you read it. It's a really tough read. And he's quite an interesting guy, though. I've spoken to him a couple of times. Anyway, Udins affect your whole energetic system. This energetic system is contained in the water. That is the fluid that surrounds every organ in your body. Water is the precursor to DNA. Change the water and you switch on or off gene expression through DNA methylation. How? Through epigenetics. I'm going to explain a little bit about epigenetics in a second. This is how the infoceuticals work, by correcting the energy in the water or fluid in your body, either through one of these gorgeous devices, the Mihealth, or basically through the infoceuticals. Okay, here's some old ones without actually droppers on them. That shows you how old they are. They're more from America. The droppers are more commonly known now. Udins block the flow of energy in your water. And water is everywhere. And we're not talking about in your urine. This is in the water everywhere throughout the whole of your body. Water is everywhere. Water gives life. Where there is no water, there is no life. It's no joke. When we're searching for life, we are searching for water. Water can transmit and receive information. Water remembers anything that occurs in the space around it, and it can transmit and receive memories. Don't believe me? Well, Luc Montagnier, he won a Nobel Prize. He's a Nobel laureate for his research into this particular piece. It's called Water Memory. You can look up the video and it will prove to you that this actually is very, very real. And Luc Montagnier, he discovered, he was one of the people that discovered AIDS. Water and its surroundings. Water creates a structure of DNA and proteins, and water transmits that energy of its surroundings to the DNA and proteins, changing them. Hence why water is so important. Alexander Solodilov, don't know whether I pronounced that correctly, Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, and there's Korotkov here, water and emotions. When water is in a vessel, emotions affect the water. You as a human are a vessel. Your organs are all vessels in your body. Now I often hear people turn around to me and they say, but Emoto, isn't he one of the... Yes, he was. And we'll talk a little bit more about Emoto's work. It's very important. It's the pop science behind all this, but there's a way, way deeper science than what Emoto was doing. Anyway, let's look at the interstitium. The interstitium is the body's new organ, the second largest organ in the body, second in size to the skin. The interstitium explains how acupuncture and homeopathy work. So it's a newly discovered organ, and it was discovered only in 2019. So I'm going to teach you how and when to use the Mihealth, based on the information we just talked about. So during the 2-day training, we'll cover where and when, and how to heal the underlying Udins. You will get to practice and experience the changes in pain, psych issues lifting, and chronic issues getting resolved. Why? Why do you want to heal a Udin moment? Well, the Udin moment will keep bugging you until you get what you're supposed to learn. Remember about the positive and negative effects that are being pumped out through your heart? Well, if you don't heal the Udin moment, it's going to carry on doing that horrible, nasty stuff. Why is that important? These are the body's master systems, and they are smart. The heart, the brain, and the guts have separate nervous systems, and the water is 80% of your body. And water is the smartest. It has memory cells. It remembers everything that is happening around it. And Udin moments land in all systems of your body. And when it does that, it causes a storm. And then the Udin moment plugs itself into an organ. And it switches itself on. And the organ chosen is vibrating at the same frequency as your Udin moment. The chosen organ is working with you and your environment to assist you to adapt to what has happened. Further evidence as to why infoceuticals work. And more importantly, why the body's not actually made a mistake in creating a disease, which answers the reason why would you cut out Maybe you cut out a tumour because it's affecting other parts. But why would you then give it radiotherapy and chemotherapy, let's say with the ultimate disease of cancer? It's a very interesting way of dealing with what the body has created in the first place. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the reason for cancer and how you can heal the underlying cause of that. And we've had some great success with that. Anyway, some examples of eudaemoments in your organs are constipation and diarrhea. Sounds shitty, but it is. It's because you cannot digest something that's been forced down your throat. That's shit, basically. Breast and breast cancers, you have been ripped away from a loved one. Backache, you have not got the strength to stand up for yourself. Headaches, you can't intellectually solve a problem. It's a headache. Heart issues, losing your purpose. The heart is the most important organ in the body, and if it doesn't really have any purpose, then it's going to create some form of disease. Acne, trying to protect yourself from horrible comments. I like this one because imagine someone's throwing daggers at you. What your skin actually does is it grows extra skin underneath, which when it heals turns into acne. And eczema, lost contact with someone you care about. I love this one as well because imagine you've got eczema across here. It's because that flakiness and the way that the skin actually changes is very, very important. And it's so that you don't feel that loss of contact. And when it heals and becomes red and raw, that's the reason behind it. So why do you get sick? Your pains, your chronic issues, your diseases are all how you adapt to changes in your environment. Your eudaemoments. And we'll look at this. How you adapt to a eudaem is through the 6 stages of a disease. This is the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system kicking in. I'll go into exactly how that works. And what causes your eudaemoments to occur can go back a long way, back into your bloodline, your hereditary issues and past lives. And how do you heal then? And this is the most important piece, obviously, is you reverse your eudaemoments trapped in your heart, in your brain, in your gut and water that triggered your organ to become diseased in the first place. Why do you do this? Remember the 5 steps to healing. You must redress your stress first. If you don't, you could do all that external detoxification. You could take drugs to reduce inflammation, although that's pretty pointless. You can rework your environment and get rid of those people, but they might just come back anyway because you haven't dealt with the underlying reason why your heart is attracting those people to you in the first place. You can raise your energy and do lots and lots of gorgeous things like yoga and everything else, but it isn't going to make any difference unless you address your stress first. That's the way that you heal. So how do we do that? You are guided to communicate with your diseased organ and each nervous system using the brain infoceuticals. Surprise, surprise. Then you go into your environment where it came from to learn and evolve from the eudaemoment. And how you can assist that is through Liberator. So let's actually look at what we do then. We take the energy from your eudaemoment trapped in your nervous systems and your organs, and we bring in a higher vibration energy to heal the energy behind the eudaem. Okay? And we use the brain infoceuticals to get to this information out quickly and easily. And we use Liberator to go and assist in that. So let's go and look at everything in our environment. We tap into time, space, matter and energy. And we take the heart, the brain, the belly, the water and the organ. And we bring in those 6 stages. And then from there, we also bring in any hereditary stuff and the epigenetics. And then what we do is we use a higher level energy to just heal that other stuff. And then what we end up with is a beautiful sense of how the solar system through the sun and also through Earth and this time, space, matter and energy can actually go about healing ourselves. And of course we use Liberator to assist with this healing. And when clearing energy from a client where you use Liberator, this infoceutical honestly is magical. And is absolutely magical in its ability to speed up, deepen and heal the stressful events that trigger disease to occur. So I find that absolutely fascinating. And basically what this is all called is advanced clearing energetics. You'll also learn how to use the Mihealth to heal using MRs. I'm going to show you how to use all these different wonderful features of the Mihealth and how to use it up and down across various things in order to be able to find out the underlying trapped energy. Now the secret is as well, oh, and by the way, the Mihealth, it sticks as well when you really know what you're doing, and I'll show you how to do that. It's great stuff. So what happens if you do not heal the Udim? Well, the ghost of the Udim moment is still there. And if you don't do that, this is what causes a person to get a chronic disease, heart disease, cancer, or depression. And everything you do is compromised. And if you do not redress your stress, and everything else is compromised. And also the NES-Health system does not work as well as it can. So your experience on the 7th and 8th of March in Maroochydore, discover why we get sick and how you can heal using NES-Health. Well, your personal 2-day experience, you're going to uncover the real reason as to what triggers a disease to occur. Find that trigger in you and your client using the brain infoceuticals, and then use Liberator to heal that trigger completely once and for all. We're going to explore the 6 stages of a disease and how to use this to know why and where a person is within their disease process, especially chronic issues and how they link to the NES scans. Even doctors have no idea how this process works, even though they are taught all about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. I think this information is groundbreaking. You're going to love it, and there's even more. You're going to learn and practice the different energetic healing processes with like-minded people in a secure environment, so you can have the freedom to truly delve deep into this incredible material. Ask those inquisitive questions and see for yourself how healing using advanced clearing energetics and NES-Health can occur quickly and easily. You're going to be able to delve in and ask questions of me, of how I use this material, and questions of how Peter Fraser created a lot of these things. I'm going to share with you stuff that you may never have come across before, and some other really cool stuff as well. You get to work on your own stuff, obviously. I think that's one of the most important things. We all have stuff. I have my own stuff going on as well. I'm not perfect, and nor are you, so you're always going to have to be working on your stuff. But you've got to be able to heal those troubling pains, stop your chronic issues, and solve those psychological screw-ups. Get yourself straight using NES and ACE before you heal others. The secret is, we all have stuff, because the external environment is inherently changing from moment to moment. Don't believe me? Just think about weather changes. The Earth goes around the sun, and the weather changes on a regular basis, and those have an effect on us, including the radiation, everything. It all has an effect on us. Don't think you're immune to evolving, because that's why you're on planet Earth, is to adapt, learn, and evolve. So you're going to discover more about using multiple NES scans, something normally not allowed and certainly not taught, to uncover the deep traumas and where they are trapped in the water in the body. Multiple NES health scans give you a specific roadmap or specific roadmaps as to where to focus your healing work. Nothing like this is ever taught in NES trainings, but it is the backbone of Peter and myself's work. And you're also going to learn how to combine all this work into a session with a client, how to find and clear the UDINs multiple times, and then how to assist your client by using normal infoceuticals so you and your client can complete their healing effectively. That's the key. That's the key. When you use infoceuticals along with this material, then you're going to see greater changes. You're going to see those other 5 steps actually complete their healing. It's really quite amazing. How to apply the 5 steps to healing energetically to you and your clients' lives, further enhancing your NES health work, so you know what to do and when assisting with healing yourself and your client. If you want to know more information, go to admin@healthexpressworld.com, or need to talk to me, richard@richardflook.com. That's my main website. Or just book some time with me. Some of your students have already done that. richardflook.com/diary. If you go to richardflook.com, you'll find more information. Here are the dates and location: 7th of 8th of March 2019, Maroochydore on the Sunshine Coast. Includes catered lunch, morning and afternoon teas. Cost is $522.73 Australian dollars, and you can find out more by going to healthexpressworld.com. Book your time there. Really look forward to actually meeting with you. Really look forward to being able to share this incredible information. I know Peter Fraser will be absolutely overjoyed that we're doing this after his passing, and I really look forward to being able to actually take you on this journey, take you on a way that you can go about healing yourself and others. And until we actually meet in person, have a great rest of your day. Bye bye for now.